Welcome to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives, with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast paced, high pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
So, have you noticed how the headlines lately seem to be all about stress? Companies cutting jobs, workloads are skyrocketing, and burnout is becoming the norm instead of the exception. It's enough to make anyone feel like throwing in the towel. But here's the thing: stress isn't just something to survive, it's something you can use. Imagine turning that pressure into a rocket fuel for your growth. That's what we are about to talk. How to take stress and reframe it as an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Welcome back to Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives on the Transformation Network. I am your host, Singh. And today we are flipping the script on stress. We are not just going to talk about how to deal with it, but we are going to learn how to use it. In this conversation, we will first talk about stress, when approached the right way can actually help you grow. Then, a simple framework, 3-step process to reframe stress in real time. We will talk about a inspiring story about a leader who turned a major challenge into a breakthrough moment. And finally, I'll guide you through a reflection exercise to help you see how your own stress has shaped you into the person you are today. So, if you are ready to laugh, learn, and take back control of your stress, grab a notebook, or let's be honest, your phone. Let's begin. Now, before we dive into today's episode, let's do a quick recap. Last week, we explored tools like 5 second rule. If you remember, right? One, two, three, four, five. Oh, to stop overthinking and taking action. And we also practiced box breathing, the 4 second inhale, 4 second hold, 4 second exhale, and 4 second hold to calm your nervous system during chaos. Now, both are simple yet powerful tools to manage stress when it feels overwhelming. But here's the thing: stress isn't something to manage, it's something you can use. And that's what today is all about. Stress is like that one neighbor who always shows up uninvited. Annoying, right? The one who borrows your Wi Fi password and somehow ends up eating all your snacks. But what if I told you stress isn't here to bother you? It's actually here to help you grow. Think about it. Stress is like a personal trainer for your brain and your emotions. It's uncomfortable, pushes you, and let's be honest, sometimes it makes you want to quit. But in the end, it's what makes you stronger. Stress has this bad rap, right? The moment I say word stress, most people think of panic, sleepless nights. But what if I told you stress isn't that bad. There's actually a type of stress that's good for you. It's called eustress. And no, that's not a typo. It's like caffeine. It's like caffeine. It gives you a little boost to focus and perform. But if you don't manage it, it can overwhelm you. The key is knowing how to use it. Now, think about this. When you are about to give a big presentation and you feel those butterflies in your stomach, that's eustress. It sharpens your focus, it fuels your energy, and it helps you shine. The problem is we don't always recognize that it is helpful. Most of the time, we lump all stress into one bucket and label it bad. But here's another truth: stress isn't the problem itself, it's how you and I we see it. Research shows that when you view stress as a challenge instead of threat, your body responds differently. You are more resilient, you are more focused, and less likely to burn out. So, let me give you an example. Think about weightlifting. When you lift weights, your muscle experiences stress. It's controllable, but it's necessary. That stress is what makes you stronger. Think about if you are a runner or any other sports. When you run, your lungs experience that stress. Again, it's uncomfortable but necessary. That stress is what makes us push towards the finish line. So, stress in life works the same way. It is the resistance that builds resilience. It is the resistance practicing that builds resilience. Again, going back to the example of weightlifting, if we are not careful and exert more stress than our muscles can take, we are going to tear the muscles. If we don't understand how much stress is good in running, in walking, in jogging, in other m- maneuvering where you are using your lungs, you're going to fall down. So here is the mind shift I want you to make. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this teaching me? That one question changes everything. It transforms stress from something that holds you back into something that propels you forward. All right. So now that we have talked about why stress can be good for you, let's get into how do we actually reframe stress in the moment. Again, three simple steps. So the framework talks about pausing and reflecting, shifting the narrative, and then taking a purposeful action. So let's see how it works. The simple three-step framework, and I have been using a lot of my clients on this. It's practical, it's effective, and it works wonders. Again, it works if you work it. So the first step, pause and reflect. So the first step is to pause. When stress hits, hit the pause button. Don't react. Just notice. When stress hits, our instinct is to react, fight or flight, or let's be honest, freak out. But instead of reacting, take a moment to acknowledge what you are feeling without judgment. Ask yourself, what's really going on here? Is this about the situation, or is it about how I am thinking about the situation? Now it happens every day. We get stuck in traffic. We are running late, right? So instead of spiraling and just chasing our head down and getting frustrated and emotional, just pause and reflect. What can I control? See, the moment you ask that question, that gets you into the second step, shift the narrative. And this is the game changer. This is where the magic happens. Instead of seeing stress, it's the enemy. What did you ask? What is the opportunity here? What can I control? What can I learn? Right? Right deadlines. Reframe it. Let's say you are overwhelmed at work because of a tight deadline. Instead of spiraling and again getting all worked up, try reframing it. Right? So instead of saying what to do about it, this is a chance to practice time management. Or it is a chance to prove to myself that I can handle high pressure situations. So a tight deadline, freaking out, changes into an opportunity to practice time management, an opportunity to learn how to handle high pressure situations. Now, the moment you take a pause, you reflect and you ask that magic question, then the third step, take purposeful action, right? So finally, you take the action, but make it intentional. Ask yourself, what is the next step? What is the next step I can take that aligns with my values? What is the next step I can take that gets me to the goal? It doesn't have to be huge. Just focus on the next right thing. I give the example of being stuck in a traffic and getting all worked up. But the moment you step back, take a pause and ask, what can I control? Well, think of a podcast. Use the time to breathe and call and give a heads up. Let your team know you are running late for the meeting. And it's okay. See, this framework is not about denying your stress, it is about using it as fuel. And to show you how powerful this can be, let me tell you a story about someone who turned stress into a breakthrough. So, the story is about Sarah, a young vice president at a very fast growing tech company. So, this is about 2 years back. Her team missed a critical deadline. And trust me, it was disaster. I'm not trying to uh, not be fair. It was a disaster. The client was furious. Their CEO was breathing down her neck, and her team was completely demoralized. A typical large client project with high stakes did not meet the delivery. Now, first, as I would have done without proper practice, Sarah panicked. That's what most of us would do. She panicked because of the fear of losing the customer. She panicked because of the fear of her CEO and CFO breathing down her neck, and she has to give those answers. She had the fear that her team was completely demoralized. But then she made a choice. She made a choice to pause and reflect. She paused, she reflected, and asked herself a very simple question. The magic moment. What is the opportunity here? What is the opportunity when I have missed a deadline? That one question changed everything. What Sarah realized is that this crisis wasn't just a problem, it was a chance to improve communication and processes within her team. The moment she stopped freaking out, going in that spiral of what ifs could happen because the customer is not happy, the senior leadership is not happy, I am not happy, my team is completely demoralized. She stopped going in that spiral, instead said, okay, what is the opportunity? And as she went through the events, she identified some of the fundamental flaws that had happened and stayed within the organization and all around communication and handover processes between the teams. So she rallied her team. She owned the mistakes. She worked with the team, improved her communication and project management scopes. Then she worked with her internal leaders to identify appropriate optimization of the processes as the project was moving from one team to another. And that's how she was able to turn things around. Not only that, by accepting and owning the mistake, and then going to the next step of using that as an opportunity and solving that lingering problem in the organization. Not only that, she was able to save the client relationship, not only that, she was able to save her relationship with her senior leadership, and not only that, she was able to bring back the morale of her team. She was able to manage the crisis and recognizing this unique approach during the crisis to get over it and do something much more improvised for the organization, she earned a promotion. Now, you might not be a vice president at a tech company, but you have faced your share of challenges. So, what is your Sarah moment? What is that moment when you feel that you are just spiraling up and you don't have answers for all the questions of how things are not going to go back to normal? And how can you reframe it? Reframe it into an opportunity for growth. Reframe it into an opportunity for a solution, and reframe it into an opportunity for momentum as you move forward. So here is a guided reflection exercise, a quick reflection exercise to help you see how stress has shaped your growth. Take a deep breath. Now, the next step only if you're not driving or using any heavy machinery. Close your eyes and picture a stressful moment from your life. A moment like Sarah, when nothing happening in front of you would give you the hope to come through in that particular moment. What did it feel like? What sounds were present in the moment? What sights can you remember or emotions? The whole idea behind mindful practice is to observe what we see in our mind. And the more you practice reflecting and becoming just an observer without judgment, the five fundamental senses that we have in our body, it's very unique in the way those senses becomes localized memory in different parts of our body. And when you can picture a particular moment in your life that you have already lived and you connect with sound, with sights, with emotions, you become a true observer of the problem, not the one who is facing the problem. Now imagine yourself stepping back and seeing it from a distance. What lessons emerge from that perspective? So the picture of stressful moment in your life, now that you have become a true observer, what is that perspective? What was that moment teaching you? Something that we did not practice for, something that was overlooked, maybe something that we were overconfident and we did not go back and validate, right? So, what was that moment teaching you? And how did it challenge you to grow? What else could have been done if you identified something, like if I missed to validate something or I was overconfident about something? So, how did that challenge help you grow? And finally, how are you stronger today because of it? Right? Take another deep breath and let that sink in. Remember, every challenge you have faced has shaped the person you are today. And yes, you are stronger than you think. We just have to bring all our God gift given faculties to work. I mentioned in the last episode, we need to come out of this autopilot and start using the faculties that has been given to us. And it starts with observation. It starts with becoming present in the moment, but then also being able to reflect back as an observer. So, going back, we talked about how stress can be a catalyst for growth and how to use it as a tool instead of a burden. While you do your box breathing exercise, you can start thinking about those emotions that you felt just before you started the box breathing exercise. This is another way of weaponizing mindful practices, that now you are adding emotions a label that will always be there for you. It will always be there for you to recollect, reprogram your thought in the moment, to not only to be able to better judge what's going around you, to better analyze your own emotional agility, but also the emotions of others. Again, when you have presence and you have emotional confidence and clarity, you are going to think very, very, very clearly and strategically. And that's where the actions that you take has that much more positive results. So let's wrap this up for today. We talked about how stress can be a catalyst for growth and how to use it as a tool instead of a burden. Now, here's your homework. We talked about the three tools last time. Continue doing the box breathing exercise and the 5-second pause. Take 10 minutes today to journal about a recent challenge. What did it teach you? How did it help you grow? And if you are feeling bored, share your thoughts, your insights with me on the website, Singh at singhleadership.com. Remember, stress isn't your enemy, it's your secret weapon. Use it wisely, and it will take you places you have never imagined. Thank you for tuning in to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives on the Transformation Network. I am Singh, and I'll see you next time. Until then, keep growing, keep leading, keep transforming. Let's begin.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building strong connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singhpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.